Hey everybody, Steve Przebrowski here. Welcome to tip number 75 in the series 101 Tips to Ace Your Promotional Exam. As a reminder, my website, code3firetrain.com, has lots of great free resources on there. Check it out. And this series is based on my latest book from Fire Training Books of Videos titled the same name and available off their website and also mine on the bottom there. Excuse me. Tip number 75. Let's talk about something here. Now, I'll be the first to say that you are your own worst and best competition. A lot of people worry about, and this is going to sound contradictory to what I'm talking about here, but work with me, bear with me here. A lot of times people tend to forget that when they go into a testing process, it's them against themselves. It's not them against everybody else. Yeah, you're competing against the others, and you got to make sure you score better than the others to hopefully get considered. But it ultimately is you making or breaking your career, your future, your whatever. It's you. But I think there's some benefit to anticipating who your competition will be on game day or test day for a number of reasons. So let's jump into them here. When you get to that test, and here's an example, say of a written test, where you got multiple people in a room taking a written test, which is very common for promotional exams. You take a multiple choice examination as the first step. It's sort of like, got to pass it with 70% or more before you go to the next step, or you don't pass it, you got to take the next test. But some of the benefits of learning who your competition or knowing who your competition is going to be is, it's an opportunity to extend the olive branch. Think about it. It's a chance to learn, but also study with your competitors, get to know them better, but also build your study partners. Now, we'll talk more in a future episode about finding good study partners because they're hard to find. But it's a great chance to get to, build that teamwork, build that relationship you have with your coworkers. It's a great chance to maybe have a good, productive study partner, because we can all do good on our own, but we can even sometimes do better in collaboration with others. And think about this: that competition, they may be your boss at some point. Where I'm at in Santa Clara County Fire, I never in a million years would have imagined that my fire chief and my assistant fire chief, my bosses, both worked underneath me at one point. That's not bad or good. That's just reality sometimes. When I got promoted to deputy chief about 10 years ago, the current fire chief was the training captain, and we had a great relationship. And I think we still do have a good relationship and a great relationship, but he's now my boss. It's just the way things worked out. It wasn't, I wanted to become fire chief. Didn't happen that way. He became fire chief. Well, you got to have a good relationship with your boss if you want to be successful. And then the assistant fire chief, when I was the deputy chief of operations, he was brand new battalion chief, and we worked together, in a number of different capacities over the years. Then he got promoted to assistant chief. I didn't, and that's okay. But the point is that everything comes down to relationships, getting along with others, teamwork, and just playing nicely in the sandbox with others. If we had a crappy relationship in previous years of me being an asshole, say, as their boss, and then the tables are turned where now they're my boss, turnabout's fair play, and it sucks that that's the reality, but sometimes it happens that way. So you want to make sure that you're hopefully just a good team player, and you never know who. I remember seeing a poster years ago: be careful, the toes you step on today may be connected to the ass you have to kiss tomorrow, meaning don't step on toes today of someone that could be your boss. It's so true in today's world. So you never know. Also, you may make a new friend or strengthen a current relationship. There's some benefits too about getting a chance to learn who your competitors are. And hey, you know what? It shouldn't wreck your relationship or your friendship. That's the hard part, because a lot of times people get pissed at others for getting the position, getting the job, getting the promotion. Don't blame them. That's the hard part. I know it's disappointing. It was disappointing when I didn't become fire chief and I didn't become assistant fire chief. That was very disappointing, but I couldn't blame the fire chief or the assistant chief for getting the position. It wasn't their fault. What did they do? They competed in the process. They obviously performed at a better level than I did, and they demonstrated to the powers that be that they would be a better fit for the position than I demonstrated. So I got no one to blame but myself. And maybe I had a bad day on game day, on test day, or maybe the evaluators didn't, excuse me, maybe the evaluators, excuse me, didn't see that I was demonstrating that I had everything that it took to fill that position of fire chief or assistant fire chief. So I can't blame them. I got to blame myself. Excuse me. So it's, again, you against yourself, not the others. So there's some benefits to learning who your competitors will be, but hopefully for good reasons, not to try to game the system. Because it's important to anticipate who your competition will be on test day. But don't forget, it's ultimately you against yourself, or me against myself. Your only competition is you. Be the best that you can be, and what is meant to be will be meant to be. I wanted to be fire chief at one point, or assistant fire chief, and I look back on, well, things are done for reasons. Those two individuals got the promotions because they demonstrated they had what it took, and they're both doing a great job. So it's like, who am I to say? And you know what? Things worked out, I think, the way they worked out for the reasons. As disappointing as it was at the time for me to hear no, I can look back now and say, you know what? I think that was done for good reason. Maybe that's a sign of maturity, experience. I don't know. Not settling. I'm not lowering my standards. I'm just coming to grips with reality, like I think all of us need to do at some point. So before I choke to death, and if you don't see me come up for episode 76, well, if you do see me come up, that means I will not have choked to death here. But that said, let's hope that doesn't happen. So until the next episode, everybody, y'all take care, be safe. Feel free to reach out if I can be of any assistance to anybody. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a good day, everybody.